Picture this with me. It's Tuesday afternoon, you're sitting at your desk, and you realize that your coffee is cold because you haven't had a chance to drink it. You have 17 browsers open on your computer, and your phone is buzzing with client messages. You have a proposal due by 5 o'clock, and you realize that you have a team meeting in 20 minutes, and you haven't even prepared for it. And somewhere in that little voice in the back of your mind, you hear something saying, I built this business to have freedom. So why does it feel like I'm working harder than I ever did for someone else? If you've heard that voice before, this episode is for you. I'm Heather Ioerger, a virtual assistant staffing expert and an operations coach. My whole life's work revolves around helping overwhelmed business owners stop running their business like an employee and start acting like the CEO. And today I want to talk to you about what I believe is the single most important shift you will ever make in your business. And it's not a system, it's not a new hire, it's not a new strategy, it's a shift in who you believe you are. Because here's what I see over and over again. Smart, capable, hardworking business owners, and they've built something real, but they're stuck. And not because they lack talent, not because they lack work ethic, and not because they are doing everything that they set out to do. It's because they're stuck playing in the wrong role. They're operating their business when they should be leading it. So today we're going to talk about what it actually means to move from the operator to CEO, and what the difference is in real life, and why most people never make the switch, and what you can do this week to actually get started. So let's get into it. I want to start by defining something because I think the word operator gets misused. When I say operator, I don't mean someone who does the work. There's nothing wrong with doing the work. I mean someone who's stuck doing the work, every piece of work. And it's because they believe that no one else can do it right, or because they've never stopped to ask whether they should be doing it in the first place. The operator answers every email. The operator is on every client call. The operator trains every new hire, approves every invoice, writes every piece of copy, handles every tech issue, and still somehow tries to find time to grow the business. The operator is the first one in and the last one out. And it's not because they love it, but it's because they don't know how to stop. And here's the painful part. Most of us who started our business did it because we wanted freedom of time, freedom to work with clients we actually love working with, freedom to build something that was actually ours. But somewhere in between, I'm launching a business and I'm drowning in my business, that freedom completely slipped away. And we normalize it. We start calling it hustle. We call it the cost of success. We call it things like it's just how things are right now. But right now it turned into 6 months, and 6 months turned into a year. And now you're at 3 years in and you're still doing the same things you were on day one. And my friend, I'm here to tell you that is the operator trap. And the trap is sneaky because the operator is productive. The operator gets things done. And if you put a task in front of the operator, they'll complete it. So it looks like things are working. Revenue's coming in, clients are happy, and the business is moving. But guess what? The operator, they can't scale. There's only one of you. And as long as you are the operator, the center of everything, the person every task runs through, the person every decision depends on, your growth has a ceiling. And that ceiling is you. I want to ask you something right now. If you had to leave your business for 2 weeks, that means no checking your email, no Voxer, no Slack, no text messages from anything about your work. Okay? What would happen? Would your business continue to run? Would your clients be taken care of? And would your team know what to do? Be honest with yourself. If the honest answer is no, if things would fall apart without you, that tells you something important. It tells you that you are inside the machine instead of running it. And that is the most important thing for you to know. Not because you can't fix it, but you haven't named it yet. So let's talk about the other role. Now, I know that when some of you hear CEO, you roll your eyes at me a little bit, right? It sounds like a title for someone who's in a nice little corner office and a whole team underneath them, not for a solopreneur who runs a business from their kitchen table. But I didn't mean it as a title. I mean it as a function. Let that sink in for a minute. The CEO is a function. The CEO's job is not to execute. The CEO's job is to decide. The CEO decides on where the business is going, who should be doing what to say yes to, and just as importantly, what to say no to. The CEO looks at the business from the outside and asks, is this working? Is it aligned with where we're heading? And am I the right person to be doing this? The last question is one most people never stop to ask. Operators are reactive. Something comes up, they handle it. All right. A client has a question, they answer it. A system breaks, they fix it. But CEOs should be proactive. CEOs think in quarters, not days. CEOs are always asking, what do I need to build, hire, or delegate so that next month runs smoother than this month? A CEO's primary product is not task completed. A CEO's primary product is decisions made in your business. And the quality of those decisions determine the trajectory of everything. All right. So here's the filter I use with every single client I work with. And I want you to write this down. When you look at any task on your plate, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Does this task help me get new clients or make sales? Does it help me keep and serve the clients I already have? Or does it help me mentor, coach, and lead the clients I am currently working with? And if you answer yes to any one of those questions, my friend, if that task is directly tied to bringing someone in, keeping someone in, or doing right by someone you already have in your inner circle, that is a CEO level task. And that is work you can and should own, all right? Can and should own, or you can be closely involved in those tasks, okay? But if the answer is no to any of all 3 of those, if the answer is no, if that task is an admin function, a scheduling issue, a tech fix, a follow-up email that doesn't require you to specifically answer to it, a social media post that can be drafted by someone else, an email campaign, a funnel built, a website built, any of those things that could be done by someone else, then it should not be on your plate. Not because it doesn't matter, because it absolutely does matter, but it's not CEO work and it belongs to your team, your VA, and your systems. And guess what? Some of it can be automated. It just doesn't need to be done by you. Now, here's what I want you to understand. This is not about working less. I am not standing here telling you, go sit on the beach while your VA and your team run your whole business and make you a bunch of money and you're doing nothing but laying on a beach. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about working differently. I'm talking about protecting your highest value time for your highest value work. Highest value time for your highest value work. I'm talking about getting out of the inbox so you can get into the strategy, all right? I'm talking about trusting the people and the systems around you so that your brain is free for things that actually move the needle. And that shift from reactive to proactive, from executor to decision maker, that is what CEO mode actually looks like. So here's the question. If the difference is so clear, if everyone can see the CEO role is the better role, then why don't more people make that switch? And I'm going to tell you why. It's because they have an identity problem, not a strategy problem. I have worked with so many business owners who have every tool in place. They had the project management software. They had the SOPs. They had the team. They had the VA. And guess what? They were still the bottleneck because they still wanted to check every single deliverable. They were rewriting things as if they had never been delegated. They were still jumping in to answer questions when their team was fully present and capable of handling those things. And when I would gently ask about it, they would say things like, well, I just do it faster myself, or my clients expect to hear from me specifically, or I'm not sure my VA was ready for that yet. Okay. What they're really saying to me was, I don't trust anyone to do it as well as I can, which is really code for something even deeper. Ready? My worth in this business is tied to me being needed. Oh, I'm going to say it again. My worth in this business is tied to me being needed. And that is an identity issue, not a delegation issue, not a systems issue, an identity issue. Here's the truth. Most business coaches will not say out loud, if you are still acting like an operator after you've hired help and built the systems, the problem is not your help or your systems. The problem is that you have not decided yet who you are in your business. Because when you hire a VA and you still do the tasks yourself, you have not delegated. You've just given someone a job title with nothing to do. And when you build an SOP and you still check behind the process every single time, you have not systemized anything. You have just created extra paperwork. The infrastructure does not matter until the identity shifts. Let me tell you about a client of mine. She came to me after years of building a really successful service-based business. She had revenue most people would envy. She had a team, she had systems, and she was working 70 hours a week and hated every minute of it. When we dug in, she found that she was still approving every single client email before it went out. She was jumping on calls with her team members that they could have handled on their own. She was still writing proposals and invoices herself, even though she had talented VAs who were completely capable of doing these things for her. And when I asked her why, she said something that stopped me cold. If I stop being the one who does everything, what exactly is my value here? That is the question right there. That is the thing we have to answer before any system or hire will ever work. Her value and your value is not in the doing. Your value is in the leading. Your value is in the vision. Your value is in the relationships, the judgment, and the direction. Your value is in the decisions that only you can make. And when you free yourself from the execution, you do not become less important to your business. You become more important. You actually become more important in the right way. She eventually let go, and it took about 6 weeks of actively redirecting herself every time she wanted to jump in. But when she did, her team stepped in. Okay. I coach them. I work with them. Her team stepped in. Her business started to scale in ways it hadn't been able to move before. And she got her evenings back for the first time in 3 years. Hallelujah for that. The hire did not change her business, but the identity shift did. So what do you do with this? I don't want to leave you with just a concept. I want to leave you with something real. This week, I want you to do just one thing. Just one. That's all I'm asking. I want you to make a list of everything you did in the last 3 days for your business. Every task, every email, every call, every deliverable, every single thing you did throughout the day that was for your business. And I want you to write it all down. Then I want you to go through every single item through the CEO filter that we just talked about. Okay. Those 3 questions, right? Does this task help me get new clients or make sales? Does it help keep and serve the clients I already have? And does it help me mentor, coach, and lead the clients I am currently working with? If the answer is yes, fantastic. It belongs on your plate. And if the answer is no, then this is something we need to talk about. If that's something that could be handled by someone else and not you, we need a documented process in place. We need automated systems happening. And we also could just simply remove it from your equation entirely, depending upon what it is. But I want you to circle it. I want you to circle those things because that circle is your opportunity. That is where your time is leaking. That is where a VA, a system, or a clear SOP would give you back hours you are currently spending on work that is not yours to carry. Most people who do this exercise are shocked by what they find, not because individual tasks are overwhelming, but because when you see it all laid out on paper, you realize how much of your day has nothing to do with getting clients, keeping clients, or serving the people you already have. And that is the moment this shift starts to happen. You don't have to fix it all at once. Start with one task, one circle on that list, and hand it off with clear instructions. Let it land with someone else. And then I want you to resist the urge to take it back. Okay. Resist the urge to take it back. And it's going to be hard. It's not easy to shift your identity. Okay. You don't need to be that operator. You are born to be that CEO in your business. That is the crack in the door. And once it opens, everything will start to shift. Here's what I want to leave you with today. You are not your to-do list. You are the person who decides what's on it. The business you are building, the one that is supposed to give you the freedom and the impact and something to be proud of, it needs you to lead it, not to work in it. It needs you to lead it. And the first step in doing that is deciding that you are the CEO, not someday, not after you hire 2 more people or cross certain revenue mark. No. Now, today, with the business you have. That decision is everything that you make of it. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We're going to go deep into delegation systems, VA matching, and what it actually looks like to operate like a CEO in the real world, not the highlight reel version. And if you are at a point where you are ready to stop figuring this out alone, come find me at my-vob.com. I would love to talk about what's possible for your business. And I will see you in the next episode.